Before Bruce Lee, action cinema was often slow, theatrical, and formulaic. Fights were staged more like dances, and martial arts was exoticized rather than understood. Then came Bruce Lee, a blazing force who redefined what action meant on screen. In less than 5 years, he didn't just change fight choreography, he reinvented the language of global action cinema forever. Breaking the mold. In the 1960s, Western action films largely featured brawls, gunfights, and car chases. Eastern martial arts films existed but followed rigid traditions, choreography was stylized, and heroes were often mythical and detached. Bruce Lee shattered both molds. When Lee emerged, he brought something raw, real, and electrifying. His movements weren't just technically impressive, they were fast, fluid, and full of purpose. Every punch had intention. Every kick had attitude. And for the first time, audiences weren't just watching action, they were feeling it. Speed, precision, emotion. Bruce Lee's fight scenes were a revelation. He moved at blinding speed, often too fast for cameras to catch. His solution? Slow down his strikes on purpose so they'd be visible to audiences. That's how fast he was. But beyond speed, Lee introduced something deeper, emotion in motion. His fights told stories, of rage, defiance, control, and growth. He used facial expressions, pauses, and screams not for drama, but to elevate the emotional stakes of each scene. Fights were no longer just physical contests, they were expressions of character and philosophy. Realism meets philosophy. Bruce's background in philosophy and martial arts gave his action scenes substance. He didn't fight for style, he fought for truth. His own creation, Jeet Kune Do, was built around adaptability, minimalism, and directness. That approach translated perfectly to the screen. He stripped away unnecessary moves and flash. What remained was efficient, deadly, and cinematic. Whether fighting in a narrow alley in The Way of the Dragon or in a hall of mirrors in Enter the Dragon, Lee's style was not just visual, it was intellectual. Behind the camera, the director's eye. Bruce wasn't just a performer, he was a creator. He directed and choreographed fight scenes with a precision and eye for rhythm that few had ever attempted. He used camera angles to amplify impact. He edited scenes to control tempo. He understood the language of film as well as the language of combat. In The Way of the Dragon, he directed himself in the now legendary Coliseum fight with Chuck Norris. No music. No gimmicks. Just pacing, breathing, and brutal clarity. It was cinematic confidence at its finest. The Hollywood shift. When Enter the Dragon was released in 1973, Bruce Lee became a global phenomenon. For Hollywood, it was a wake-up call. The rules of action had changed overnight. Suddenly, fight scenes needed rhythm. They needed flow. They needed authenticity. Hollywood stars began training in martial arts. Fight choreography evolved. Entire genre.